Sugar cane sweet, but girl, your love is sweeter.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Yemi. It's my pleasure to meet you here today for another opportunity, another privilege to communicate STEM with you out there. Today, we are looking at another subject under STEM, which is mathematics. And interestingly, we are looking at factorization part 3. Factorization part 3. There is already a video production on part 1 and part 2. You've got to go over them and over until those mathematical skills become appropriated into your body system. Okay? Now today we are looking at another aspect of factorization. You see, different life problems require different solutions. And in workspace, in future workspace, you've got to find different ways of solving different problems. The method you use to solve problem A will be different from problem B because the origins are not the same. So that is why there are different methods. So we are going to come across other problems under factorization that require a different method, which we shall be looking at today. And what is the method? Difference of two cube method. D stands for difference of 2. 2 is 2. Cube. Cube means something raised to the power 3. Like this. Or E raised cube. This is Y cube. E cube. When something has power 3, okay, that is cube. Difference of 2 cube. That means two things are cubed and then there's a difference. Difference means minus, subtraction in between them. It's different from difference of 2 squared that we did in video 2. So now, what does the law have to do with this? It says that if you have, okay, let me start here. If you have two things, A raised to the power 3 minus B raised to the power 3, two things are being cubed. This one gives us a linear factor and a quadratic factor that can no longer be factorized. You know, there are some quadratic expressions. Quadratic means something that has raised to the power 2. Anything raised to the power 2. Any expression that you can see something raised to the power 2 is quadratic. So for this method, difference of 2 cube, you will get two factors. One is linear. That means the highest power is 1. Then one is quadratic. The other highest power is 2. That quadratic cannot be factorized. So there are two factors you can get. It says that this A raised to the power 3 minus B raised to the power 3. Look at the methodology. It will be equal to, you know, it starts with A minus B. You start with A minus B. That is the linear factor. Minus, it will start with minus. Then, the next factor now, you pick this A and square it. Since this is minus, the next sign you will use will be plus. Then you pick this A and this B, you multiply together, that is AB. Then the last one is always plus, whether plus or minus here, it will end with plus. Then you pick B squared and you squared it. Look at it, very simple. A raised to the power 3 minus B raised to the power 3, the answer is this. How do I get it? Pick A minus B, just like this minus. Then pick A and square it. Multiply A and B. Since this is minus, the next sign will be plus. But the last one must always be plus. Okay, let's look at this. What about M raised to the power 3 minus N raised to the power 3? Yeah, let's do it together. According to this will be M minus N. Do you agree with that? Pick one M and square it. Since this is minus, the next place will be plus. Then pick M and N and multiply it. M times N, Mn. Then you will not pick this N now and square it. It must always end with plus, then to be this. So that is difference of 2 cube method. Let us try to prove it. Let's prove it. Let's say I give you something like 8 plus 1, for example. You know, 8 plus 1, I can write it in form of cube. It means 2 raised to the power 3 plus 1. Like I told you, 1 raised to the power anything is 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Then 1 raised to the power 3. Now, if I apply this formula, this one, okay, it will be A minus B into A squared plus AB plus B squared. Now, look at it. Now, if you look at this ordinarily, you know, 8 plus 1 is 9. So we already know that this is 9. And if you use this, if you use 2 raised to the power 3 plus 1 raised to the power 3, we already know that this is 2 times 2 times 2. Is that also? Plus this one is 1 times 1 times 1. So 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. Plus 1 times 1, 1 times 1, 1. And 8 plus 1 is still give us 9. Now let us see if by using this formula now, 8 plus this formula, whether we are going to get 9. Now from this, our A is 1, is 2. So this will be 2 minus 1, because B is 1. Bracket A is 2. 2 times 2, 4. Plus AB, that is 2 times 1. A is 2, B is 1. 2 times 1, AB means 2 times, so that's 2. Plus B is 1. 1 squared means 1 times 1, 1. Okay. Now, what is this? 2 minus 1 is 1 in brackets. Now, let's add it together. 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2, that is 6. Oh, sorry, it's minus. I made a mistake. That's minus, not plus. We are dealing with minus first. Okay, that is, what is it? 6. 6 plus 1, that's what? 7. Now, I told you if you have 2 brackets, it will be 1 times 7, which is 7. So that means the other time, 8 minus 1 is 7. Let me repeat that. Okay, so I made a mistake. It's not actually plus, it's minus. Sorry about that. Okay, so 2 raised to the power 3 minus 1 raised to the power 3. This is 2 times 2 times 2 minus 1 times 1 times 1. 2 times 2, that's 8, minus 1 times 1 times 1, that's 1. So it gives us 7. So it has been confirmed. So it means that this formula is actually a proof that there is what is called difference of 2 cube method. Okay, so once that is clear to you, let's solve at least. I want to solve 3 problems. After solving these 3 problems, I have about 12 questions. Please, can you build this here? Okay, at the end of this class, you should be able to factorize all this completely. So let's see how you go about that. Number 1, I will solve 3 problems for you. You will solve this for me. Factorize 5m minus 625 m raised to the power 4. I start with a very big one. Now look at this. I told you in factorization, you have to look. Is there a common factor that you can use the previous method that you know? Method in video 1 and video 2 of this topic, factorization. If you look at this, 5 is here, m is here, 5 can go this 625, and m is also here. So I want to factorize this out first. 5m can go into, if you use this to cancel this, it will be 1 that will remain. Minus 5 divided by 625. If you do that, you get 100. As you can see clearly, this 5m is a common factor between this 5m and this 625m raised to the power 4. Now, you need to look further. You need to look inward. Look at what is in the bracket. The terms inside the bracket, 1 and this 125m raised to the power 2, does it conform to difference of 2 cube? Yes. This one can be raised to the power of 3. So this is 5m. This is 1 raised to the power 3 because 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Okay? 125. This minus can be written as 5 raised to the power 3. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. You have to put dot. Dot means time. But this 125 and m raised to the power 3 are together by times. This one is already m raised to power 3. Can you see that? You remember that if you have two terms joined by multiplication having the same exponent, the law says you can write it like this. I'll write 5m bracket 1 raised to power 3 minus, look here, this, because they have the same exponent, I can write it like this. 5m, I pick one 5, I pick one m, then the two of them will now be raised to power 3, like this. I explained that in video 2 of this under this particular method. So we have difference of two things that are keep. One is keep, 5m is also keep. So I can apply the formula. Now you cannot use any letter for your a, for your 1, and any letter for the 2 that you need to write out the formula. It will help you to write out the formula. So this is like saying 5m into a raised to power 3 minus b raised to power 3. Do you see that? So this one now, we have to write the formula for the difference of two square method. It says that 5m, the first factor is linear. You pick a and you pick b. The next factor is quadratic. You pick a squared, you multiply a and b. Now if this is minus, what will follow next will be plus ab. Then it always ends with plus. Don't forget that. B raised to, then you square this. Meaning that your A is 1. Look here. A is 1. Your B is 5m. B is 5m. So you need to write this somewhere in your, okay, answer script. So you now substitute. So the first, we have gotten 5m as the factor. Now this one now, wherever you see a and b, you put 1 and 5m respectively. So this becomes 1 minus 5m bracket 1 squared, 1 times 1, that is 1, plus a is 1, b is 5m. What is 1 times 5m? That is 5m plus b is 5m. What is 5m squared? B squared. So we are going to have 5m squared for b, which means 5m times 5m. 5 times 5, 25. M times m raised to power 2. Do you see that? So the factors are this: 5m by 1 minus 5m by 1 plus 5m plus 25m squared. I told you the other time that anywhere you see something squared, it is quadratic. So this is linear, this is quadratic, but all this is the factor to 5m minus 6 to 5m raised to power 4. Okay, now with this detailed explanation, let me just take one more example. Okay, let's take one more example. Okay, now let's just see this. Sometimes there are situations whereby you need to apply. Okay, I will do that one in part 4 of this topic. That will be, it will be very easy for us to apply multiple methods. Now look at this. What if I give you something like factorize 27m raised to power 3 minus 8n raised to power 3? Yes. If you look at 27 and 8, it can be expressed to the power of 3 as this. 27 is 3 raised to power 3. 3 times 3 times 3. Dot, this m is already raised to power 3 already. Minus 8 is 2 in 3 places. So that's 2 raised to power 3. This n, luckily for us, is already raised to the power of what? 3. Now, look here. If you look at this, I can pick 1 3 and 1 m so that they have a common exponent. You already understand that. Minus, I can pick 1 2 and 1 n so that they have a common exponent, 3. Now, assume that this is x cube minus y cube, because that is difference of 2 cube. If you compare this to this, it means that your x is 3n, your y is 2n. Compare this to this. Take note of that. Now, this one, according to difference of two square method, let's write the formula again. It will be, it starts with x, it is minus, so it will be x minus 1. That's linear factor. Then the quadratic factor, pick one x and square it. Since this is minus, the next one will be plus. Pick x, one s and one y, multiply it. That will be x times y, xy. Then it always ends with plus. Then pick one y and raise it to the power of 2, y squared. So you now substitute now. Our x is 3m minus n is 2n. Then again, x is 3m, but it has to be squared. 3m squared. It means 3m times 3m. 3m times 3m. 3 times 3 is 9. M times m squared. That will be 9m squared plus sy. X is 3m, y is 2n. 3m times 2n. 3 times 2 is 6. M times n, mn. So that will be 6mn plus y is 2n. Then you squared it. That will be 2n squared. Meaning 2n times 2n. Do you understand that? So that will give us 2 times 2, 4. N times n squared. That is the answer. It means that this quadratic cannot be factorized. That's why it's standing as 1. And I told you that when you put so many things inside the bracket, it means 1. It means they are together. So it means that this cannot be factorized. There's something you can do to this again. It's a type of quadratic that cannot be factorized. There are some quadratics that can be factorized, and we're going to come across that. Okay, I feel like solving one more problem as the last example. Okay, can you see that? Okay, very clear. Okay, now let's look at the final example on this. I feel like giving you one more example. Okay, now I will make that one to be very simple. Factorize this. Factorize n cubed minus 1000. Yeah, n cubed minus 1000. Can you see that? All right. This is n cubed. 10,000 is 10 raised to power 3. 10 times 10 times 10. So, assume that this is e cubed minus f cubed. You just assume this, okay? To enable you to write the formula, which will be e minus f. Are you following? Pick this, e squared plus e times f, ef. It always ends with plus, then pick f, square that f again. Meaning that if you compare this to this, e is n, f is 10. Okay, so as we conclude, let's substitute. That will be n minus 10. That's linear. You can't factor, no factor again. It's already a factor. Then n squared plus ef, n times 10, that will be 10n. Plus f squared. F is 10. What is 10 times 10? 100. That is the answer. This one is a quadratic factor. This is a linear factor. So it means that there are two factors to n raised to power 3 minus 1000, and the two factors are this and this. Yes, that is the end of difference of two cube method. Two things raised to the power of what? 3. Difference separated by minus. So we have come to the end of this. For students, learners all over the world that are registered with us, attempt this. And you already know the normal channel. If you don't know, you can call our attention. You can link me up on my WhatsApp page, and then we'll tell you what to do. Once you are registered, there must be feedback. It means you have to practice this. Like I said, every problem has its own technique. They may have the same method, but the different approach. And it is that approach examiner want to test. So keep subscribing, sharing, and supporting. Keep telling and telling and telling and telling your friends in your various schools.
Oh, good. Kim promise. Sugar sweet, but girl, your love is sweeter. Sobolo juice mixed with a little ginger. Oh girl, I wanna be with you, but you know they got enough time from me. I wanna leave